This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today we're talking about hypergamy and its consequences. Now, hypergamy is a fantastic thing that has been put in place in women for evolutionary purposes. Let me explain. My belief is this, that the world has been designed perfectly by a designer that has done this a lot of times. Okay, we gotta understand that the way our bodies are designed, the way our bodies experience pleasure, experience joy, happiness, and at the same time experiencing the opposite of those emotions, is perfectly designed to a T. And we gotta appreciate that and learn to work within those natural boundaries that we've been placed under. Hypergamy is one of those things. What is hypergamy? It is basically that women, whenever they got the chance, will always move up when it comes to finding a mate of higher sexual market value. Meaning, if a woman is together with a man who's a 6 on the sexual market value, if the opportunity arises with security, that she can secure a 7, and that guy makes her feel security that she will be accepted by him for the long run, she will always leave the 6. Women are wired to search for opportunities where she can upgrade her lifestyle always. The reason why women don't jump at every single opportunity when they see a guy who has a higher sexual market value than the guy that they're with is because of the lack of security and the fear of rejection. Let's say, for example, she's together with that 6 and then there's a 9, okay? And she's like, oh my gosh, that guy really makes me tingle and I really want to be with that guy, but you know what? He's never gonna wanna be with me and it's never gonna work. The reason why she thinks like this is because of fear of rejection, and she's settling with this guy that she's with. Now, if that guy, the 9, had come to her and said, hey, I really like you and it's very interesting, and has started flirted with her, then she would naturally tingle, because women are wired to desire that which is forbidden. That is very forbidden if she's already together with the guy who's a 6. And the guy who's a 6 basically wanders around, like nothing's happening because he doesn't know what's happening inside of his woman's body. This is what's happening. And if this guy, this 9, manages to provide enough security and safety that she either will not lose the guy who's providing for her, she will cheat every time. If she knows that the 6 will not leave her. However, if the 9 shows commitment and he really desires her to become a part of his life for the long term, and that is proven over time, the woman will leave the 6 every time. But Joseph, you haven't mentioned the positive aspects of this. The positive aspects of this is survival. In the past, it wasn't, of course, that kids would survive. Very often, half of the kids would die before they had reached 1 year old. Evolution made it so that this was the proper way. This is part of evolution. And we're still in an evolutionary process. And women are wired this way for a very, very wise purpose, so that the kids that will come from that union will become better than the past generation. What's absolutely fantastic about this is that men who are 10s and 9s and 8s, who's got the protection ability and the provision ability to take care of women and their own children, will be the ones who provide children to be the next generation. This allows the world to become better and not worse. Always. The species are becoming healthier. They're becoming stronger. They're becoming taller. They're becoming more handsome. Everything is improving as long as the top tier guys are multiplying and reproducing. The guys who are being left behind and cheated on, those are the guys who basically don't have the chance to reproduce. And if they don't have a chance to reproduce, those genes, that DNA, will stop with that guy. It's also a positive thing for the woman. She gets the protection and the provision of a high value man. Women were designed to have joy in the now, and men were designed to make the now better. So if a woman was designed to enjoy the now, then every opportunity she has to improve her now is, in fact, jumping to another guy. The wise way of going about this is not shaming women. It is shaming men. Once we understand women's hypergamous nature, we understand that it is not their fault that they feel this way and that they cannot control their emotions when the right man comes along and accepts them and commits to them for the long haul. Women are also not able to control their emotions and are more driven to follow those emotions instead of their rational thinking in the heat of the moment. And it's men who needs to step up and become more masculine, more emotionally stable, more understanding of women's true nature. If a man does not blame his woman, she will not leave the man. This is one of the biggest reasons why I know that my wife will be faithful to me throughout thick and thin, because there's no one else out there that does not blame her. Now, if someone came along who was a higher sexual market value than me and also didn't blame her and had more money than me and basically showed over time massive commitment towards her and my kids, then she probably would leave me, because that is according to her hypergamous nature. But because I understand this, and I probably understand this better than any man on planet Earth at this moment in time. When was the last time you found a guy who never blames women? Okay? The fact that I understand this makes it so that I know for a fact that she'll always stay with me, because there's no one better than me for her. And I hope that one day I can be able to create men of high value over time for you, girls of high value, where these men do not blame you at all. Yet they understand your nature, and yet what they strive to do is to not change you. Because you can't be changed and you're not supposed to be changed. You will naturally improve yourself and become better if you are in the presence of a man more powerful than you, a man who is higher value than you, a man who basically protects you, provides for you, and makes sure that you have a fantastic life. If he does that, you will make sure that he never ever leaves you, and so you'll do your best to become better and improve. And when both partners improve themselves and become better for each other, but the man mostly for his purpose, you create an amazing relationship, an amazing family, and a beautiful next generation. Women's hypergamous nature is a blessing, not a curse. It's a blessing because once you understand it, you know how to beat it. But it also teaches us that women cannot control their behavior. They cannot control their emotions if they are burdened. If they find a guy who is higher value than the guy that they are with right now, they will ditch the other guy because that will be a burden to her. Does that make sense? The guy who has lower value than the guy that she potentially could be with, he's now becoming a burden. He's holding her back, and he's holding down her potential. Her potential is up there. She could be with someone up there who is showing signs of commitment, and yet she cannot have him because of this guy. The less burdened you are as a woman, the more faithful you will be to your husband. So the goal here is to become more feminine and to become more unburdened. The more masculine you are, the more you're setting yourself up for failure in your marriage. The more you're setting yourself up for survival mode instead of growth mode. The more you're setting yourself up to not reach your full potential. Which is amazing, because when you understand what is happening around the world today, women are striving to fulfill their potential by becoming men, by becoming more masculine, which is insane because they're going in the opposite way of nature. Nature was meant for them to achieve their potential by free riding with the higher value man, who produces passive income for them, protects them, provides for them, and gives them everything it is that they desire. So as you can see, the more burdened and masculine a woman is, the more likely she is to swap her partners out for a better one. The more unburdened and feminine a woman is, the more she allows the man to have the power in the relationship, the more she will be in love with him, and she won't be looking around for someone else. When a woman is in love, she becomes blind. She becomes blind to his faults, and she basically looks up to him. When a woman is blindly in love with the right guy, remember I keep reminding you guys on this channel to make sure you find the right guy. When she's in love with the right guy, she's not looking elsewhere at all. And anyone who advances her, women are built in such a way as to immediately refuse any approaches when she is in love. So the moral of the story, the moral of the video, make sure you like this one, is to understand your hypergamous nature is something positive, something good for evolution and for society at large. And what needs to happen is for men need to improve themselves and also understand property rights. When it's someone else's wife, you don't touch. And you don't escalate anything, and you do not involve her emotionally into your life. Men are the ones who need to improve, not women. And the hypergamous nature of women is what allows men's super progression and competitiveness to improve and make every society better. I love women's hypergamous nature. It has tons of benefits, but everyone keeps talking about the negatives. Once you understand women, you will understand the world and how beautiful it can become once we live according to the laws of nature. This is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you in the next video.